This week I'm in Los Olivos, California, and I'm driving the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and this is refreshed for this model year. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through some of the changes, and then of course I'm going to get into the things that I like and the things that I don't like on this vehicle. So let's take a closer look at the 2025 Hyundai Tucson right now. All right, we are just going to dig right in with a quick walk around of what is new on the vehicle. And from the side profile, yeah, it's not really that different. You still have the little zigzags, as I like to call them, the Zorro slash design on the side, but it's when you walk around to the front that you can see that you do have a redesigned grille, and it has a little bit more of a bold face. You've got some chunkier pieces here at the front. You have some redesigned headlight treatments, so the daytime running lights still have that neat design, but it's slightly redesigned. And your headlights themselves are right here, but like I said, the front end gets a little bit chunkier. The biggest changes you're going to notice, however, are on the inside of the vehicle. So you know what? We're just going to head right there. And I'm going to pop this out, and we'll just start with this. This is the redesigned screen. We've seen this in the other Hyundai Genesis vehicles where you essentially have one sheet of, I'm assuming this is glass, that goes from the gauge cluster all the way to the infotainment screen, but you do have two screens. So you have the gauge cluster right here, and then you have the infotainment screen right here. So this is new, and that means that they've just kind of opened up this whole space. You have a phone tray right here. They've kind of freshened some of the materials, so you have like a cloth kind of, almost like a linen-like material that just kind of circles from the dash to the door panel. And this right here is another big change. You now have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it is standard at the time that you get into the vehicle. So these vehicles are going to be available soon. They are imminently available, and I think they said within the next couple of weeks. By the time you're watching this video, within the next week. So some of the Genesis vehicles that we've seen are supposed to have Apple CarPlay wireless, but it's just not available yet. It's coming as an over-the-air update, and this right here is going to be standard when you get the vehicles. So yeah, already using it, and it works really well. Now, I'm not going to kind of swipe through things because as you can see, I'm recording with my phone, and so to swipe through Apple CarPlay while I'm recording with my phone, it looks like everything is laggy, and this is not laggy. It does really well. So the other thing that they've done here is they've kind of opened up this console area, and they've added actual physical buttons and dials. And so you have your HVAC controls, which are a dial. You have your volume and your tuning knob right there, and you still have like touch spaces. I'll call them touch spaces for your other controls with your HVAC. Your heated steering wheel is right there, and that doesn't bother me as long as I can, crank up the AC, turn up the volume, turn down the volume, and do all that with a simple crank. I like that. Something else I want to point out is I've heard a lot of people say that they think that Apple CarPlay is a clunky thing, just in general, because it's really hard to get back to the native system. Well, one of the things that Hyundai has done is they've included these hard buttons down here. So if you want to get back to the native system, all you have to do is hit that, and then you're immediately back into your native apps, I guess you could say, of whatever you need to do within the vehicle. So I like this screen design. I like the fact that they've opened up this space. I don't carry a purse anymore, but I like the fact that I go to the grocery store, I have eggs that I don't want to put in the trunk of the vehicle, and I can just set them here. Your takeaway, whatever, like a bag of something can just easily fit right there, and I like that design. They've also moved your wireless charger right here, which makes that easy to access, and yeah, we're going to be talking about that later. And you've got your cup holders with prongy things, and I mean, other than that, your design is not going to be super crazy different. This right here is the big difference for the 2025 model year. Now it is time to get into some of the things that I like and, yeah, some of the things that I don't like. Now, a lot of the times when I go into the good things and the bad things, I talk about 5 good things and 5 bad things, but I'm going to tell you my good things, bad things are kind of uneven here because there are more good things than there are bad things. So I'm not even going to count. I'm just going to dig right in. And this model right here that we are driving is the hybrid version, and I really am enjoying this powertrain. It is very peppy and it is very responsive. And I mean, okay, we've only been driving for a couple of hours, but I've been getting about 30.4 miles per gallon. So I don't think that's a real gauge of how this will do in everyday driving because there's only 278 miles on this vehicle, like total. So it needs to be broken in a little bit more. But I feel like in an SUV, anything over 30 miles per gallon gets a thumbs up from me. So other than the powertrain, yeah, I'm gonna flip this around so that we can just talk in detail about some of the things that I really like. All right, I moved to the back seat so that it could just give you a better look at what is going on here. Because one of the things that I really like about the 2025 Tucson is going to be the fact that you just have this very open and airy space. I like how this looks and I like how it feels. You feel just a little less claustrophobic and penned in. Plus, I'm going to point out, you have really great visibility out of all of the windows. I like this screen that's continuous that goes from the gauge cluster to the infotainment screen, and I love the wireless Apple CarPlay. I love the fact that I don't have to get wires out if I don't want to, especially if I'm just driving half an hour here or half an hour there. I don't need to charge my phone. I just want to get in and I want to drive and I want to go from point A to point B. Now I can keep a wire in here if I want to charge, or I could use that. But yeah, I like the fact that I don't have to. I just get in and voila. My phone is mirrored on the screen and I think it looks really good. I think it fills out the screen really well, and I like how Apple CarPlay is done in this car and the fact that it's finally wireless. Thank you, Hyundai. What else do we have going on here that I really like? I really like these controls. We touched on this in the walk around, but I appreciate the fact that this is not going to be distracting while you are driving. So you can, without looking down, you know where your volume is, you know where your track control is, you know, tuning knob, and it's very easy to change your temperature. I mean, this is still a little clunky if you want to change your vent or your fan speed. But I will say you don't have to take your finger off. You can just kind of put your finger there and hold, or put your finger there and hold, so you don't have to do the tap, tap, tap. But I mean, when driving, that's still going to be a little bit ish and distracting. But I do like the fact that most of your controls, your most touched points, are now included in this area here, and I appreciate that. Down here you have USB-C. Let me see if I can get that out. USB-C chargers, and you do also have this 12-volt converter or power source there as well. And yeah, drive modes and things like that. Again, you have hard buttons for those things, and I like that. Looking at the dash area, something else that I really like is going to be that material. So this is a hybrid, and again, I don't know that this is available in every model, but you do have a material in addition to these nice leather seats. But you have this material here, and I like the fact that they use that instead of something that could scratch or look bad. The other thing that I'm really appreciating is this right here. Your passenger now has a tray for their things. So my husband will very often get into the vehicle and he'll put his ear pods here and his phone down here, and then we get out of the vehicle and we go inside and he's like, oh, dang it, I've got to go back inside or go back outside and get my stuff. So if your passenger is putting their phone here and their ear pods here, they are not going to forget it in the car because when they leave, it's right in front of their face. So I like the fact that you have a very easy, nice place for passengers to put their things to not leave them in the vehicle. I'm going to move outside to show you something before we move back to the inside to show you the final two things that I really like on this. So I think the Hyundai designers have done a really nice job here with the back end of the vehicle, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the windshield wiper is hidden. I don't even know if you can see that. It's hidden right under here. So it kind of swoops down when you need it. And I like the fact that you have this nice clean space back here, and your wiper, again, don't know if you can see that, is just hidden, tucked right under there. I think that's very clever, and I like the fact that they've done that with the design. Now, final two things here, coming inside. We already mentioned it with the walk around, but I figured I'd give you another view. I really, really like this open console idea. Now, I should point out that this setup is really only available in the limited trim and the hybrid models. Otherwise, you're going to have a little bit more of a closed space there, because what they've done in this specific model is they've moved the gear shift to the column, which opens up this space. And so this isn't going to be in all 2025 Tucsons, but I do like this open console area, and I like the fact that you just have space to put things. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is going to be this right here, and that is your camera. So first off, I want to say I really like this round view camera here, and I like the fact that you have this kind of circular view, askew view here. You can also get your front view, your back view, flip that, reverse it, back view, front view. Like, let me try that again. And then, like I said, you've got this kind of overarching askew view, as I like to call it. So it's also very high def looking here. And I will point out, you do also have dynamic lines. So as you are maneuvering the steering wheel, it essentially shows you where your trajectory is for the vehicle. Now, I think a lot of vehicles, most vehicles probably have that these days, especially for the rear, but you don't see it that often for the front. I'm gonna need to move this forward a little bit so I can put my foot on the brake, so that I can do the gear shift. But as you go into reverse, you can see it gives you the backup view here, so it moves it automatically there. And again, you're going to have your dynamic lines as you turn the wheel. And I always appreciate knowing the trajectory of the vehicle, especially, living in Chicago where I'm backing into my garage space. Very helpful. And then when you put it into drive, similarly, so it gives you this kind of a view. Like, I am in drive, right? Yes. It gives you the askew view, but again, you've got your dynamic lines on this around view camera here, even though you don't have them on the front view there. So, I don't know. I like this camera. It's high def. I'm obviously not in a dark space right now, but I feel like backing into my garage, it would be well lit, even if it was dark outside. So there is just a lot to like here. Okay, before I shift into the things that I don't like, there is one more thing that I want to talk about that I really like on the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and that is the lack of subscription fees. If you watch me in social media, if you've seen some of the other videos I've done, I've been on a little bit of a tear lately about subscription fees in new vehicles. A lot of things offer you a 3-year free trial, and then bam, they hit you with a $50 a month fee. And that really bothers me because you just spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a vehicle. Why should I have to pay a subscription fee? Well, you know what? In a Hyundai vehicle, or at least in this Hyundai vehicle, there are no subscription fees. So you have a available digital key, and that means you can essentially use your phone as a key fob, walk up to the vehicle, phone in your purse, your pocket, whatever, and the vehicle will unlock. It notices your phone like a key fob, and then you come in, you sit down, you can turn on your vehicle, no key necessary. So I'm a runner. I don't like to carry a lot of things while I run, but I always carry my phone. So I appreciate the fact that you can use your phone as a key, and it's not a subscription fee. You will have that free for the life of your ownership as a first-time owner. Second-time owners, TBD, but first-time owners, free. Also, all of your BlueLink app connection things, so remote start from your phone, your lock and unlock functions from your phone, free, free, free. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Now, there is one little thing that is TBD, and we've been having some conversations, and there are no real answers about it yet. But they mentioned that over-the-air updates are free for 3 years. And I was like, so does that mean you're going to have to pay for over-the-air updates in the future? And they're like, no. Things that are necessary for the vehicle to function that are updating over-the-air, you will never have to pay for. But if they're things like maps, so if you are not using Apple CarPlay, and you want to use the native map situation, that after 3 years will cost you probably for an update. There is no definitive answer on that, but it just, in the day and age where everything is a subscription fee, I'm just very, very bothered by automakers who charge for stupid things like, being able to remotely start your vehicle. Toyota. So, the biggest thing I've been telling people these days is you've got to ask questions when you're buying a vehicle. Is this a free trial or is it free for the life of my ownership? How long is the free trial? What will it cost when the free trial ends? Know these things, ask these questions before you buy the vehicle. But if you're buying this vehicle, I'm going to tell you right now, map updates, probably a fee. Wi-Fi subscription, there will be a fee for that. But everything else, free, free, free. And I like that. All right. Time to transition into things that I don't like. And you know what? I have to change the camera angle for that. So, one moment, please. All right. Yeah, here we are with my driving position. And this isn't necessarily what I don't like because I have a lot of room between the airbag and my breastbone. You need 10 inches. That's what NHTSA recommends. To be safe, I have that definitely. So, I have a good distance from the steering wheel. I have excellent visibility out of all of my windows. But here's the problem. This is the problem. In my driving position, I like to be far forward and I pump up my seat a little bit. I hit my knee on the underside of the steering column. And I've had that problem in Hyundai vehicles previously, but not all Hyundai vehicles. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could lower the seat a little bit and then I don't have that problem, but then I don't feel like I see as well out the front. So, I mean, there's going to have to be a little bit of a compromise. If you are on the petite side of things like I am, checking your driving position and how comfortable you are with moving your foot from brake to gas and how high you want to be and how close you want to be to the steering wheel, that's definitely something, somebody on the petite side of the spectrum is going to want to check out. Now, my drive partner was probably about 6 feet tall, and I noticed that he did not have any problems, and he had plenty of space for his knees surrounding the steering column. Plus, somebody who's taller, frankly, is gonna move that up a little bit, so probably not gonna be too much of a problem. But I am just gonna say, just be aware. If you're on the short side of things, test that out. Now, for the next thing that I don't like, as much as I really enjoy the interior materials and design of the 2025 Tucson, yeah, we have some black lacquer, and while it doesn't bother me on here, I feel like this is kind of necessary, you have it on the door panel and you have it here, and these are places that are going to scratch. So I wear a wedding ring, and I feel like every time I'm, gonna shut the door, I'm knocking this with my ring. And I just feel like over time, in addition to this showing like every speck of dust that exists, it's just going to start to scratch along here. And I think that there's a different material choice that they could have chosen, and black lacquer was not it. Black lacquer was not it. So I don't like that choice. I don't like that option. Now, another thing that I didn't really like, as you know, I'm always cold, so I always appreciate the dual automatic climate controls, but the heated steering wheel, even though it has 2 levels to heat up, I didn't feel like this heated up the steering wheel a lot. Now, when it's cold outside and your hands are really cold, maybe it would be enough. Maybe it would be enough to keep your hands warmer, get your hands warmer, but I just really wanted it to be hotter. And I also noticed that it's really only heating up like right here. Like I didn't feel it here. And I'll be honest, when I'm really cold, I will go like this and I will like suck up all the warmth I can and then move on to the next spot. So for having 2 levels of heated steering, like the top level just wasn't hot enough for me. Now, yeah, the final thing that I do not like on the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, this right here. Where do I start? Okay, so first off, you will see, like, it is sunny outside and there's sun hitting this. So that contributes to the fact that your phone is going to get direct sunlight in direct sunlight, and that will aid and abet overheating. I had my phone on here, for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, and I noticed that at one point my phone did stop charging because it overheated. Now, it didn't stop the Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay was still active and still working, so it didn't shut down the system, but it stopped charging my phone before my phone was fully charged, and when I pulled my phone off, it was really hot. So people tell me it's my phone and it's my problem, but I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on the fact that it's me and my problem. Now, I have heard that newer iPhones don't overheat in the wireless charging. So if you have an older iPhone, maybe that is the problem. I think I have one model ago. But yeah, this overheats your phone, and I'm not sold on this location, because even if it wasn't overheating your phone, if this wasn't overheating your phone, the fact that the sun is directly hitting your phone could be a problem. I really like wireless chargers that kind of like tuck into space like right here, and I'm not even opposed to having a wireless charger under here that would incur some shade. And by the way, like, you could probably throw some air down there. So yeah, this didn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Did not work for me, and I don't like it. So as you can see, for 2025, they have done a lot of great changes to this vehicle, from some of the design tweaks to the interior design changes to the wireless Apple CarPlay. All of that gets a thumbs up. In terms of driving impressions, I think if you've watched the review that I did of this vehicle when it launched, I really don't have much to add. I think that this is comfortable, it is smooth, it handles really well. We've driven on some twisty bits, we've driven on some roads with uneven surfaces, and overall, it's comfortable. I don't know what to say other than that. It's comfortable. And for the most part, other than the whole knee thing, my driving position is also comfortable. The seats, I've been in these seats for like 5 hours now. They are comfortable. So Hyundai has taken a really great vehicle and they've just made it better. They've smoothed out some of the rough edges. They've brought in some really good technology. They've brought in some functional features, and then they kept the stuff that worked the same. So I don't know what to say other than that. I really like the Hyundai Tucson, and 2025 just is better. That is it. That is what I have for you today in the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. So thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.